Hey guys, welcome to the first official Quotable review from Don't Quote Us. That's right. This is the first review where I've had a company actually send me something to review, and this is great. I think this is going to be a product you guys will like. And why? Because I've already done a video on one that's gotten over 3,500 views, and that would be the Snap and Store cases. Previously I showed off these cases, which I use for DVDs. So you got the case here, and you can put DVDs in here. This one currently has CDs in it, and I have this one here for a specific reason. You're going to see why. But what we're going to be covering here is this great case from these guys, and this is the CD Storage 2-pack. And from what it says here, it says each box holds 60 CDs, 120 CDs in slim cases, or 330 CDs in CD file folders. Now, a file folder, in my opinion, is like these here, where you just got it in a tiny little sleeve, so even thinner than a slim case. But we're going to see how many we can fit and see what we can do with this case.
Before we get too much further along, I want to mention that Snap & Store provides a full line of collapsible storage for the home that ships and stores flat but snaps together in seconds. Order now and use the code DON'TQuoteUs and receive 15% off your online purchase.
So, the way these are shipped is very flat. You can see this is actually two separate cases here. So if we go and take this apart here, just sliding this cover off, if it lets us, let's see. We might have to just rip the cover off, but let's see. Oh, one of them already is starting to open. Here we go. See, we got it out. This is so if I have to do a second take. But yeah, so you can see here, the count up in the corner. All right, here we go. So we're not gonna have to play with both, but we have two different ones here. And assembly of these is super simple, and I'm not quoting them, I'm quoting me. So on this, you can quote me. These are really simple to put together. The top comes pre-assembled, so it's just flat, like so. The bottom, you flip up these two parts. Those are your front with the tag and your back. And then dropping out from below them, you have the two sides. So what you want to do here is you want to hold up one of the sides and then snap it on. And you'll know it did it by the sound. It's actually super simple. This one's actually going together much simpler than the DVD ones I had, to be honest. So that's it. Those are all four on the front are put together. So what we're going to do is we're going to now do the back. You can see, just real simple. Snap them together, and then bottom snaps. And there you go. We got a box. That's right. Now, you do have the center divider, and I think that's for stability, but also because what you're going to be doing with CDs in here is you're going to be putting two rows. So because you'd be putting two rows, you want to keep the opening, you want to cut the opening in half. But if you weren't to put in the divider, you're working with 10.5 here. So you got 10.5 cross. Now that easily could hold something like a Blu-ray case, no problem. As you can see, Blu-ray cases, no problem. The CD cases, as you saw with the sleeve, easily, no problem. And even if you have any Virtual Boy games, those can go in there, no problem. Now, let's see if we put the divider in, what do we lose the possibility of doing? All right, so this can only go in one way. Let's see, not that way, but it does go in that way. Maybe it can go in either way, but sometimes I'm just not that intelligent. So, what I'm just doing is inside here, we got snaps. These are where I'm snapping them on. Doing the back ones. Then I'm just gonna do the front ones here. And oh my God, it's burning. No. I don't know why I'd say it would be burning, but there we go. So now it's split in two. I think that's starting to take shape. And can we still put the Virtual Boys in? Yes, Virtual Boy boxes still fit. Do the slim CD cases fit? Yes. Do the Blu-rays fit? No. Not that way they don't, but this way they do. And I have an idea I'm gonna show. Now I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll see. Now let's see some other cases. How about a jewel case, which they said fits 60 of these in each row, or 60 total, maybe? Let's see. Yeah, 60 full-size jewel cases. Now, I think the way they want you to put those in is vertically, so you're putting them down, which makes sense because you want that label on the top side. So that's good. Now I'll actually do that with the slim case here, because the slim case, typically I have the edge sticking up. On this one, I didn't seem to do that, but there you go. And maybe even on the DS one, so we can read the title. The title's on the top of, sorry, not DS, but the top of the Virtual Boy game. We're gonna put that in. So we got that going on. And that's supposedly, or not supposedly, but that's already looking good to me. Now let's see what else we can fit in there. This is Lunar Silver Star Story Complete for the PlayStation. And so this has a box, and inside here is the jewel case. But I wanted to see if this, which is a little oversized, will fit. And yep, that fits. So you got a little bit of extra room. You got a slim case here with the Rhapsody soundtrack. Slim case. And that fits in there easily. And I mean, the Blu-ray cases probably would fit in vertically. Yeah, barely, but you could. I don't know why you'd want to that way, but I'll show you what I have planned. I still have to show you that. All right, so let's just put a bunch of stuff in there now. We're gonna just show a bunch of different games in. We got Dreamcast games, PS2 games. We're putting stuff in, and now we're gonna add to that. We're gonna add in a couple DS games. We got Mario and Castlevania. So we got a whole bunch of different stuff here, and you can see it all fits in there relatively painlessly. I didn't have a hard time with that at all. Now, one thing, I did just have it vertically, and this came unsnapped, but I think that's because you're not supposed to have this vertically. You're supposed to have this stored horizontally. Now let's do a shake test. Okay, yeah, it didn't come unbuckled on a shake test. That's good. The shake test may be one of my features that I always do. We'll just shake whatever we're testing. We'll shake it, even if it's a cat. If somebody sends me a cat, I'll shake the cat. I'm just kidding. I won't shake the cat. A baby? No. So there we go. We got a lot of stuff in there. It all looks really good. And this is a family video copy of Hyrule Warriors, which I showed off previously. Yep, that case fits in there. That's a little bigger than a normal jewel case, is why I tried it. And actually it does have the title on the edge. Works perfect. All right, so we got all that in there. That looks great. That works nice. So let's fold this back down. Now, what could we do with Blu-ray cases? Well, here's some titles that actually are real titles. So we got a bunch of Disney ones here. What I was thinking could work is you could put a bunch of them in sideways like this, and then I'm just gonna do a bunch of blank cases as filler. Now let's see if these actually fit. Because I was looking up the measurements of the case fully assembled and wondering, would this fit? And what I'm gonna tell you in a minute is whether it fits or not. Let's see. Before I show it off, it's tight. It definitely pushes the sides out a little, but you could do this. So let me show you. There you go. You could put in 2 rows this way of Blu-ray cases. And how many does that fit? Well, that fits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's some Disney cases there. Some of those are wider than normal, I think. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'd say 9 or 10, which means 20, which means about 40 per case you could fit of Blu-ray cases. So that's even with the slip covers on them. So 40 Blu-ray cases not too bad. Now, I think you can do more than that in the regular DVD case. I'd have to go and try that in here, and I'll definitely be sure to post on the screen at the bottom here how many that holds, because I can check that after. We'll put it in post. But yeah, I'm glad they actually work, because this was an idea I had for these, is Blu-ray case. You could just put Blu-rays in here, store them, not have to take them out of their cases or anything, and just store them away. Why you'd want to do that? Maybe you ripped them, and maybe you want to just store them in your basement. I don't know. And we're not going to talk about the legalities of any of that. But there you go. That's some nice stuff. Now, how heavy is this? These are pretty, I mean, they got a little weight to them. That's good. They're pretty structural. I'm going to kind of beat on this other one here that we haven't assembled a little bit. I'm just kind of curious how flimsy the cardboard is on the bottom. Like, if I fully fold this out and don't assemble it, how flimsy is the cardboard? Let's see. Yeah, you could definitely bend it, but when it's fully assembled, it's got some structure to it, and it's much stronger in my opinion. So I don't think we have to worry about this falling apart. You don't want to grab it definitely by the edges. I'm noticing the snaps are coming off on this one when I do grab it by the edges, but if you grab it in the middle, it's all staying together nicely. It's just stay away from the edges, because they do tend to come off, it looks like. And that may be just the one I have here, so I don't think that's necessarily reflective of the product. But let's get some measurements here. We got about 14 inches from front to back, so a little shorter than that. And across, we got a little over about 10 and, let's just rotate it, do it that way. 10 and a half that way. And how tall are they? 6 inches. So we got 10 and a half by 6 by 14. It's a good size. It's pretty big. That's what we're dealing with here. And the top will be a little bit bigger, and they do that, they give the tops wiggle room. Let's see if they do on this one. This one is actually tighter than my DVD cases were, and that may be because of what I'm doing with the Blu-rays, where I'm shoving them in there. Yeah, that's tight on there. My DVD cases are really loosey, and I'll show you here. If we look at this, I'll put this on top now. Watch the top here. The top has a lot of wiggle room, and that's fine, but that's what I'm used to, and this is definitely different. So, what else can we do with this? Let's take a look. Taking off the top, this corner especially keeps coming undone, and this is not the side that's pushing out. But let's take the Blu-rays out just to be fair, because they weren't meant to be squeezed in like this. That's not what they expected us to be doing with them. This is for CDs. So let's just put CDs in only and see what we're dealing with. So my plan with this is to move my CD collection over, which I had in the DVD case. So what we have here is we have both CD sleeves, as you can see. And I did this similar to my DVDs. I'll show you one here, where I pulled out the front art. This is a nice little Moby disc. Moby. And the back I took out of the case and I stuck it through, so that the art is sticking up like that, and you have the tag and you can see the title possibly. The title's up here. This one's really small, but it says Moby Play. Now these aren't in any order, so I'm just shoving them in here, but I could alphabetize these, I could do whatever I want. Right now, I'm just trying to see if I shove all these in here, if we get what more we expect from that corner. And also, we do have a couple more full-size cases where I did not move them into sleeves. So these are going in there. I mean, there's a ton in here. Now, looking at this side by side with the DVD case, it looks like it definitely sits not as wide. I want to see, or not as deep. It's about, I'd say 1 5/8 shorter. Now, as far as internals, about 1 7/8. So my measurements are probably a little weird there. Take it for what it's worth. All right, and we got Queen's Greatest Hits 2-disc set, number 1 and 2. Now, what I'm doing here is just trying to load this guy up with only CDs and things, DVDs and jewel cases, etc. All right, this is pretty loaded up now. That's what we got in there. That's a pretty loaded up thing. Now, it's got some weight to it. And what I'm worried about is will it fall apart? Now, without the cover on, the top on, see? I squeezed it a little bit, and this corner popped again. So I think this corner, I'm gonna see if I fold it and refold it in or something. Not sure why that keeps popping, but it seems to be, maybe if I put this tighter, so let me see if I push everything to the front more. No, those keep popping. The top ones on the front right, and then the ones on the back right. But I think that's just because of how I pushed it together. Now let's put the top on, which is typically how you would store it anyway if you're moving it around, I would think. And it's definitely tight with the top, and that's good. I'd prefer the top to be tight rather than loose, personally. Now with the top on, if I lift it up, which you have to kind of squeeze it in to lift it. I mean, that's just what it is. So you do it, you're picking it up, you're bringing it up the stairs, you're going somewhere, who knows where, and then you put it down, you go, whew, I'm tired, I gotta work out more. Let's take the top off, see what came apart. What came apart? Both of them on the front right corner again, right there. So that's a little bit flimsy on this one. I wonder if we were to assemble the second one, just to be fair, if this one will have the issue. Let's take a look. And even though it came apart, and this is not me kissing any ass or anything here, but even though it came apart, what I gotta say is I don't think it would be that bad because all you have to do is re-snap it together. It's not great, but it could just be that unit. So let's see. And this one, I'm gonna put that divider in just to be fair, so we're doing an apples to apples comparison. Make sure my mic isn't rubbing my chin like it probably was. All right. And this is the divider. They do have a side here that says up. So, just in fairness, I might need to check if I did follow the instructions or if I'm really, really that bad at this. And I think the reason you want to have that up versus down is because it might not be the same as far as how much it sticks up. All right, it's all buckled in. Now, if I was to lift it and squeeze that corner, if you squeeze more towards the middle where the divider's at, let's see. The divider seems to come apart on the bottom, but if I squeeze on near anywhere outside of the very middle, that front right corner seems to come off. That seems to be the one. And that is because I'm doing this side. Now, putting it together, if I was to pick it up the other way, so we'll rotate it, make sure everything's snapped in nicely. This one came out again in the middle. All right, so if we squeeze when we lift, not having the same problem. I gotta think it's something with that front right. I don't know why those are loose like that. So rotate it back around. If I lift it, yeah, I'm not sure. but it could be what I'm doing. So I will reach out to the company and ask if I'm lifting it badly. Typically you're gonna have stuff in here. And like I said, as long as if you feel it come undone, it's not gonna be hard to push it back on. Also, if you have this full, I think there's less of a chance because then it can't push in. So in fairness to Snap and Store, I would have to say that the product's definitely good. I mean, I love these cases. The outside, very smooth, very nice. Very nice. It's definitely got a sleekness to it, whereas the DVD case ones have a rugged design to them. I don't know if that's picked up at all, but it's almost like a briefcase kind of faux leather kind of thing going on. Maybe that. I don't know if that's communicating the difference, but this is definitely much different in how it comes across. Now, as far as marks, I've been messing around here with them for a little while, and yeah, they get like little marks on them and stuff. But overall, if you just look at it, it looks good even after all the stuff we've been messing with here. Even after all the messing around we've been doing. But yeah, the tops stay on much tighter on these, and even getting them on is definitely much tighter than the DVD cases. And that, like I said, that's a plus or a minus. It depends on how you feel. But getting that top on, it's a little bit of a chore, but once it's on, it's a tight guy. I mean, I'm not even holding the top and it's not coming off. Here's a comparison. I hope this doesn't fly at the camera and knock it down, but I mean, that just flies right off. This thing, both completely empty. This thing is not going anywhere. So that's nice. That's nice. It stays on much tighter. I will give that a thumbs up. So again, I guess in closing, a little bit of issues with the snaps coming undone on the front right corner. Could be because I don't have it packed tight. But if you don't have it packed tight, you might have that problem. And I think that's a negative. I think the tight top on it though is a plus. I mean, there we go. I had to really whip that though. You have to be trying. Definitely you have to be trying to get that to come off. I would say for how much these cost, if you have a CD collection and you want to store it in some really nice looking cases and you don't have a huge collection, these are definitely a plus. I would say to everybody, again, you know, my opinion, you know, something like the Phantom Menace soundtrack here is I put them in the sleeves. I like sleeves, but slim cases will work as well. So that's what I'm thinking. That's my thoughts. And on this, you can quote me. This is the first review I've done from a company. I got to thank them for sending this to me, and I definitely will beat on these a little more and see if there's any problems. If you have any questions you want to ask me, please leave a comment down below. Give a thumbs up if you like this video, and be sure to subscribe for more reviews because I'm hoping to review more products in the future from companies. So that's all I got to say. Let me know your thoughts. And if you got any of these cases, definitely reach out and tell me what you think of it, which cases you have, because I'm curious how many people are using the Snap and Store products. I gotta say, I like them. I really do. See you next time. One more thing, as there always is, I tried out a couple other things. Check this out. I tried out a standard NES game, this here, Castle Quest, and those fit in very nicely, even with the booklet and the black case. Not much of a surprise there. I tried an N64 game, in this case, the great, as always, Mario Party 3. That fit in nice. As always, or as you guys know, N64 games don't have a label on the top, but you can add your own custom ones. A lot of people do. So that fits in nicely that way. And Game Boy games fit in nicely in the box. So if you're a box collector of Game Boy games, they fit in here very nicely. So a few more ideas that you could use N64 games, standard Nintendo games, and Game Boy games, in addition to the DS and Virtual Boy games. So that's all I wanted to say. Thanks a lot.